Casey. Ding, 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 everybody. This is Corner Confessions with Ringside again, and today I am joined with the illustrious and intrepid Casey Carter. She is one of the top queens of fetish in Atlanta, Georgia. When you say fetish, think of Casey Carter. I promise you, I've been to her events. Her reputation precedes her, so if you're out there, anything related to fetish, if you're looking for a good time, you want to know more about the fetish lifestyle community, Casey Carter is who you need to Google. But again, you know what? I can give Casey an introduction, my own version, but it's not going to do her justice. So, Casey, for the people out there in YouTube and the Ringside community on Facebook, let everybody know who is Casey Carter and what is Casey Carter's background.
Wow. First of all, thank you for that amazing introduction. Your check's in the mail. I appreciate that.
Hey, don't call me Trey Amazing for nothing.
But Casey Carter is, I like to think of myself as a safe space. I'm that person that you can call and ask that crazy sex question that you're afraid to ask. I'm that person that will explain to you what a thruster is.
That's what a thruster is?
You know, I'm also that person that will invite you to that sexy party you never get to hear about. I think in the last couple of years, that's probably really elevated my reputation in Atlanta. My 50th birthday party and the infamous fetish ball.
Which was a blast.
That you attended.
Yes. Yeah. I had some great pictures, had a great time.
Yeah.
Yes. Whenever you decide to turn 50 again, please let me know.
Well, I can do that every year. As a matter of fact, my birthday's on Wednesday, so.
All right. Okay.
But and then I also write erotic short stories. That's really my introduction into the fetish and kink community, was through the erotic short stories that I write. And I found myself going live on social media because there's nowhere to promote erotic short stories without somebody getting their panties in a bunch, and not in a good way. So I figured, what the hell, I'll promote my own damn shit.
Okay.
And then decided, I got a lot of friends who write, I'm gonna promote their shit. And then questions started to come. Questions about, well, what is Bukkake? And what is Futanari? And what is this? And how do I get my girlfriend to do that? And how do I get my boyfriend to do this? And so that basically redirected my show, Casey at Night, to become more of a educational tool. Okay. So that's kind of how Casey at Night developed and has evolved. And after getting kicked off of Periscope, I relaunched.
Yeah, Periscope, a bunch of haters.
Tell me about it. I relaunched, and we're back at it, teaching folks all of the kinky shit that don't nobody want to tell them.
And please believe this is information they need to know. So, you know, your name is synonymous with fetish for a good reason. But, you know, let's keep in mind, this is Atlanta, Georgia. We are in the Bible Belt. You got a lot of closet freaks out there, people that don't want to know people how they get down. But secretly behind closed doors, they're all up in it.
Getting their freak on.
Getting their freak on. And then you got the other people who may be curious, you know, they may be at a point in their relationship or their marriage where they want to try something new because the sex may have slowed down and gotten monotonous. You know what I mean? So for the people who may be curious about what fetish is, briefly tell them, what exactly is fetish? What is the definition of fetish?
A very simple way of understanding what a fetish is it's something that sexually arouses you. And it doesn't mean that you have to physically engage in sex, but it gives you that sense of euphoria. For example, you hear someone say they have a foot fetish, right? That's the one that everybody's familiar with. We all heard someone say foot fetish.
I'm pretty sure we all know somebody with.
We all know somebody with, whether you know or you know. There's somebody in your crew with a foot fetish.
Somebody in your crew, or maybe somebody in your family.
Got a foot fetish.
Got a foot fetish.
Yes. And so what does that mean? That means that they are aroused by the sight of a foot. They're aroused by touching a foot. They may be aroused specifically by the arch of the foot. They're aroused by a foot in a stocking, in a sock, in a high heel shoe, in a dirty sneaker. There's something about that that sexually stimulates them. Not necessarily in the complete physical sense, but that excitement you get from a sexual experience is you get it from the fetish. So, you've got some basic fetishes like a foot fetish, a breast fetish.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
Yes.
But then you also have fetishes where people are aroused specifically by pregnant women.
I've heard of that.
Yeah. Breast milk, the form of a pregnant woman.
I've heard, you know what? It was years ago, like maybe 16, 17 years ago, when my sister was pregnant. She said she used to tell me about all the men that would hit on her when she would go out running errands while pregnant. I couldn't understand. I'm thinking, these men are hitting on. She's like, yeah, all these men are coming up to me, approaching me while she's showing 7, 8 months pregnant. And I didn't realize that was a fetish for some men. Like, some men really get turned on in a major fucking way when they see a pregnant woman.
Yes.
I don't get it. I didn't understand it, but I realized, I acknowledge that, man, it's a real thing out there.
Okay, and so I like the fact that you said that you don't get it, you don't understand it, because that's the other side of fetish that I think we have to acknowledge. That when we talk about some of these other fetishes, again, the pregnancy, the nursing, the bukkake, people coming on you, all over you, all over you.
We don't talk about that in a second, but keep going.
Having people shit on you, having people pee on you. But this is what I'm saying. Fetish is a place where people feel shame because they may have this crazy thing that sexually arouses them, and we don't understand. But so many of us who say, I don't understand how somebody could want to be peed on. I guarantee you got your own little fetish.
Yes.
And it's just maybe over here on the spectrum.
And the fact is, regardless of what the fetish is, people don't realize that, the people who are into this, these aren't people in the shadows, EV, men and women. These are people you go to church with. These are people that sit in the cubicle next to you.
They're running the damn corporation.
Right, exactly. Because that was going to be my next question. I think that, especially when we talk about this being the Bible Belt, and, damn near on every corner in Atlanta, you got a mega church or something like that. So you're going to have people who may not be familiar with these terms you just talked about, like fetish. From your tenure in this genre of fetish, what are some misconceptions that you've heard from people, or some stereotypes, some nasty stereotypes you think people have about people who are into fetish?
They're deviants.
They're deviants, right?
And if we're going to talk from a Bible Belt perspective, sinners, devil worshiper, just flat out deviant. There must be something mentally wrong with them. They can't, it's got to be low income, low socioeconomic background, when in fact some of the biggest kinksters, some of the biggest fetish people run organizations. They run Fortune 500 companies, okay? They're the ones who pay for the high price call girl, the high price madam. If anybody watches Billions on Showtime, and the district attorney of New York, he and his wife live a BDSM lifestyle, and his release is in being tied up and whipped and flogged. And come on, I'm sure we had presidents that were kinksters, right? So the biggest misconception is that these people are some sub-level human, when in fact it's your next door neighbor, baby.
Right.
It's your next door neighbor. There are more regular people probably right here in this neighborhood right here that are going to swinger parties.
Absolutely. That
are going to clubs and hotel takeovers and dungeons, and they're more normal than not.
Facts. No, I agree. No, I do feel like, when I go to these different events, events that you invite me to, Sex Down South, Kinked Up ATL, and, I've gone to events and seen people I knew. Seen people like, oh, I didn't know you were into this. Like, oh, I didn't know you were into this too. And, tell people, you don't realize that the audiences are extremely diverse. You cannot generalize. You can't paint everybody with the same brush. They come from all different walks of life. So you mentioned a word that I really want to get into because I've never heard of it. So
Bukkake.
What's it called?
Bukkake.
Bukkake. So for me, and I've realized, I'm like, I've said that about myself sexually. Like, to me, the best sex is when I have like a huge load. Like when I, a few drops come out, it's okay, it's all right. But when I shoot out, like, my phrase I tell people is like, when I paint the walls, that means I done had a whole lot stored up. I'd have had a whole lot stored up, and it just comes right out. So that's Bukkake, right?
No.
So Bukkake is someone who likes to be like.
Yeah. So it's not a one person or let's say a two-person experience in terms of there's the person who shoots the load and the person who receives the load. It becomes Bukkake when you've got multiple ejaculators.
Oh, like in a circle, and somebody's in the middle.
Everybody's taking turns shooting off on this one person. That's when you get to Bukkake level.
Oh, sound like a sweet girl. Oh my God.
Yes, so I want you to go to Pornhub now and type in Bukkake, Bukkake.
Yes.
See what happens.
And please, ladies and gentlemen, do look up that word. Just do not do it on your work laptop.
Please don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't get fired.
Not for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm not hiring you.
Yeah, we're not responsible for that. I just want to put it out there. Do it on your own personal laptop.
Don't do it on your phone on your lunch break because there's a nosy Nancy looking over your shoulder.
Right. Yeah, it happens. Do it on your own time, completely separate from your work. We don't want anybody getting fired because we can't take care of you in that regard. But no, I find that very interesting, and I had never heard of that word before, but I knew, unfortunately, I never came across a young lady that really had that fetish. But I do find that, for me, sexually, a woman that loves it. Like I was telling someone on my podcast, I was like, I don't have too many other sexual fantasies left in my life that I want to do, but one thing I want to do is come on a woman's face. That's something I've never done before. I've never met a woman who was open to doing something like that because, some women are like, oh, that's nasty, I don't want to do that. I'm like, just come on. Maybe it's,
Okay, all right. Let's pause. Don't pause for real. But let's just pause for a second here. Troy, how old are you?
I am 41.
Okay.
Yes,
we're gonna have to change
my environment, yeah, because
that's not a hard thing right there.
I promise you, there have definitely been women that I've even verbalized, like, hey, let's, can we try this, or how'd you feel about? I'm like, maybe I'm approaching it wrong, but 100% of the time, I have yet to meet a woman who's okay with that. They're okay with, me coming on their breasts,
right,
their ass, stomach. That's breast, stomach, ass. Those are like the three acceptable, spots. You just can't get it in their eyes, no hair, especially not the hair.
I understand the hair.
Yeah, I ain't mad at that.
And the eyes I can get.
Nobody want to go blind.
Right. But just on the face and see, and I guess where I'm at a loss is it's easier to take it on the face than to say take it in your mouth. So what would be the challenge?
I'm okay with either one. I've had, I've come in a girl's mouth before, but not. I'm like,
see, but there you go.
But
I don't understand that.
But they don't want their face though. I'm like, okay, we're being conservative. Okay, so this.
All right, I don't want to cast no shame on my sisters. I don't. But
I've already done. I'm just like, you know what? I have to ask myself, like, maybe it's just one of those dreams deferred. Maybe I just,
it's not.
Just say a fetish prayer for me.
Yes, I will. I will, because to me that's not a hard one. That's not. I mean, it'd be different if you said, "Okay, I'm gonna come in this cup. Here you go." Then I could see her looking at you cross-eyed. But I just want to put a little bit on your cheek.
Yeah,
on your chin.
Chin, cheek, mouth, between the eyes, forehead, something.
I'm not like I'm asking you to swallow it.
Right. I'm like, come on, we do that. We get cleaned up. We go to Waffle House afterwards.
There you go.
Hey, come on.
It's all good.
So, really quickly, shifting gears for a second, I see that you brought some guests out here.
Yes.
Care to talk about them?
Yes. So, these are my thrusters, made by the Velvet Company. Okay, please tell me I charge something. Maybe not that one. That's it. Here we go.
All right, look at it go.
And I met these folks at Sex Expo in Brooklyn back in 2017. I convinced them to let me be their brand ambassador. And the first one that they had looked like this, right? Handle was a little clunky, buttons were down here on the bottom. Then they came out with this, and now this is what we're doing. Things with handles. This is the do-it-yourself handle.
Bring that down a little bit. Let's get that in the frame. I mean, it's a pretty big one, y'all. This is
I know. That's hard to get all up in there, right?
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay.
That's a do-it-yourself. So the do-it-yourself, the angle would be more like this. Does that make sense for you?
I'm pretty sure this is the reason why a lot of women don't show up for work late.
And then these are covers.
Okay.
So, yeah, they just roll away. So this will actually slip off. And this is the actual mechanical part. You just take this, slide it back on, put it over this little lip.
Almost like rolling down a condom.
Almost, exactly. You got to get it just right.
Yep.
And then we are back in business.
We are in business. All right.
All right.
All right. Now, before we started recording, I asked you, the question that was brought up on a podcast I did earlier in the week about, as sophisticated as so many of these sex toys, the dildos, the jackrabbits, the bullets, for the men out there who are slowly feeling inadequate or slowly feeling obsolete, what would you have to say to the people, to the men out there in particular, who feel like, well, if ladies got all these gadgets, why do they need us?
Here's what I always say. This is not a competitor. This is your partner. This is your tag team partner.
Nice.
So you do what you do, you lay it down. But we know you need a break. You need to recharge, rejuvenate, get a sandwich, have a beverage.
Yes, we are not machines, y'all. Look, we got to recharge.
Take a nap.
Yep.
I don't know,
yes.
Whatever your thing is, right?
Get some Kool-Aid, something.
I'm okay with that. But what I say is, that's when this comes out. Because she's still ready to go. You done laid it down so good, she ain't ready to stop.
Hey.
But you need a minute.
Yes.
So that's when this comes out. You either can give it to her with the handle on and tell baby I'll be right back. You go on ahead, do your thing. Or you just sit there and you hold it. Because there's a different handle for your partner to hold it.
Oh, what you got coming up next?
Okay? So this is the handle when your partner holds it.
Okay.
Right? Just screws right off. And of course it takes forever because I'm trying to do this quick, right? Screws off. This one screws on. And so here you are, letting it do the work.
Make it do what it do. Look at that.
While you take a break.
So, fellas, while you recharge, while you chilling, you holding that with one hand, the other hand you holding a sandwich or, beer or whatever. You can watch Family Guy or you can watch, whatever movie, Straight Outta Compton, and she's still getting hers. She's still percolating. She's still getting hers.
It's flexible.
Okay.
So you can, do some things.
Looks like a damn lifesaver.
Okay, somebody said that. This particular cover is specifically for that G-spot.
I knew it. See,
specifically for the G-spot. And then as you can see, each of these has a little bit of a different look to it. So they're designed to give you a little bit of a different feel. And then, of course, for those of you who are adventurous,
All right.
and are interested in exploring the back door,
All right.
this is your anal bead version.
That's for the pastor's wife right there. You know she down.
And the choir director who be doing it when the pastor's wife stops. But
Yeah.
anyway,
So that's for the anal penetration, the beads.
yeah. And so that makes this toy in and of itself very
Very versatile.
gender friendly,
Okay.
right? I mean, because even though this is specifically designed to be an anal toy, there's nothing that says this can't go in your butt.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing. There's nothing that says that this one.
And what's the name of that company again?
Velvet Co. This is called the Velvet Thruster, and the company is Velvet Co. If you'd like to order one, just go to my website, casey-carter.com. Scroll down on the page, and you will see me standing there with 2 thrusters. Just do your thing. And you can buy just one. You can buy one of these, or you can buy just one of these and buy your accessories separately, or you can buy yourself an entire kit. It's 20% off and free shipping if you come through my link.
They come through your link.
Yes, come through my link.
So one last question for the people out there who are going to be watching this, because this is going on YouTube. People in the ringside community are going to get a chance to view this. There are people out there who may be shy. They're curious. They recognize and acknowledge that, hey, their sex life needs a boost. And, they may be at a point in their life where they want to try something different. However, they may be shy. They may be scared. They may be wondering, what are people going to think about me? What does it say about myself? But basically, these are the versions. People who are trying to get their feet wet. What advice would you give anybody, man or woman, who's thinking about it but may be going through some trepidation as far as making that first, leap of faith?
Okay, first and foremost, follow me. Because you are exactly who I enjoy talking to. Mainly because a lot of the experts, they throw things at you, and you're like, okay, but I still have a question. I don't want to ask the question.
Right, goes right over the head.
I want you to ask all your questions, because I'm going to answer every last question. So follow me on social media. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Casey at Night. CASEYATNIGHT. Ask your questions there. Come to my website. Get on my mailing list. Ask your questions there. But take a peek at all the websites out there, at all the social media accounts for all the educators. Because in Atlanta, you can throw a rock and hit an educator. And you can have a really weak arm and still hit an educator. But don't be afraid. Find somebody that makes you comfortable, because that's the key. The more comfortable you are with that person, the more you'll be able to open up. And the more you'll be able to talk to your partner or talk to a new partner. Because whatever you learn means nothing if you can't share it with someone. I mean, yeah, you can learn some tricks for your solo play, but when you finally get a partner and you want to do a few things, you want to be able to say to your partner, okay, I've never been tied up. I'd like to be tied up. And that's a whole nother thing. I mean, because I teach classes on pervertibles, and a pervertible is something that does not originally have a sexual intent, but I pervert its use. So you want to be spanked, you want to be flogged, you want to be paddled,
yes,
but
please.
but you don't have any of those things, and you're not really sure you like it. Do you have a fly swatter? If not, go on down to the dollar store and get you one.
Go get you a dollar. Go
all right?
to the dollar store, Dollar Tree, get you a...
And while you're in there getting that fly swatter, buy some wooden spoons. Buy the wooden spoon spatula. And when you go home, try that a little bit. See how that feels. You figure, oh, I kind of like that. Start incorporating more things, because good sex toys are going to cost you some money. Good ones. You can buy some cheap shit. But good toys will cost you money. But pervertibles are a great way to kind of get your feet wet in the sex toy game. And that goes for, this isn't cheap. These toys run between like $130, $40, and $250, $60 before the discount.
Quite the investment.
It is, but they're going to last. But you're saying to yourself, I don't quite know if I like that kind of stuff. Well, again, pervertibles. We can talk about insertables and how.
Insertables and convertibles.
Pervertibles.
Pervertibles,
Insertables. So insertables are just,
What,
again, household items that you insert. And you don't want to just insert anything. And you don't want to say do it without a condom. You're like, I don't have any condoms. Go buy some damn condoms. I put condoms on my sex toys.
All right.
Just because,
Everybody out there, make sure you wrap it up.
this is what I'm saying. I mean, so here you see me have everything laid out here on the table. It's laid on the table so you can see it. But I promise you, when it gets used, it's going to get covered. Especially because I've laid it all on the table.
You gotta be, sanitary and all that stuff. You gotta be careful. No, that is good shit and that is important. Everybody out there, I hope you guys were taking notes, paying attention. Please make sure you're hearing it from me directly. Make sure you follow Casey Carter on all social media platforms. She knows what she's talking about. This video gives my own high-level premium platinum endorsement.
Woo!
You are doing the right thing by following her. You will not be sorry. If you're out there, when you go to bed tonight, please say a fetish prayer for me, that I find me a nice young lady that will let me
Bukkake. Even though by yourself that's not what it is, but that's a start.
It's a start for me.
That's a start.
It's a please, if I can just find me a nice young lady who will let me give her a baby shower. I just want to paint the walls and go at it.
And for those of you who are contemplating, or you turned up your nose at it, listen, girl, ain't nobody asking you to swallow. You ain't gotta open your mouth. You can literally close your eyes if you need to. Put that face mask on,
right?
So that he don't accidentally hit them lashes that you paid good money for.
Or you can wear some shades, wear glasses. That's
there
sexy
you go.
too.
Ooh, now that could be interesting.
Oh, I've already thought about that.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, I'm like, put
some shades on.
Yes.
Ooh, yeah.
Trust me, I thought about this.
Oh yeah, you can even get some dollar store shades so that you can hit the shades.
Yes.
And then toss them.
Man.
See what I'm saying? See, ladies, we done already figured out how you can do it without feeling bad about that.
Ladies, take notes.
Put your little hat on. Get the little shades. You keep your mouth closed. Anybody ask you to open your mouth?
You gotta do all that. Trust me, I promise you, I'll take you to Waffle House afterwards.
See, he's a gentleman.
Exactly. Shit, we ain't dead, y'all. This has been Ringside's Corner Confessions once again. Casey Carter, Trey Amazing, and we are out this piece.
Peace out.